today at the gym that I train at over here in Reno. I only train here usually once, maybe twice a week at most. But I've been training there for about probably 2.5, maybe almost 3 years now. And they've really, they've really been accepting of me. And I guess, it's not like, I've been overly outgoing and trying to get, plugged into their little community there. But I think it's just kind of one of those things where they see me go in there week in, week out, only like once a week, but still I'm there every single week, every single month, for 3 years now. And they've just been kind of inviting me into their little community. And I think it was probably kind of that one little push, that let them know that I was serious when I did the powerlifting meet that they held in May of this year. And it's really a kind of a godsend, being around a team of like-minded, people, like-minded powerlifters, and being around them frequently. Because I've kind of picked up some I guess built-in coaches, in a way, in not only the athletes but then also the owners of the gym as well. And it just goes to show you how important, not only coaching is for like nutritional programming or training programming, but actual on the spot, technique, as far as that goes. Alrighty, sorry about that. Had a knock at the door here at work. So yeah, lots of different coaching avenues. And on top of that, just being a coachable person. Kind of staying humble and realizing that, nobody is the end-all, know-it-all, be-all of whatever endeavor it is. There's always people out there that, are just a little bit wiser, than we are. And networking can only make you a better athlete. Similar topic, but off topic. Let's kind of, broach the subject. Why hasn't 3D Muscle Journey added a coach ever? Or considered it, really. And I think probably the biggest reason that is just trust with our name. Because let's face it, for the most part, people don't know who Brad Loomis is. Just the person, except for Brad Loomis is one of those 3D Muscle Journey coaches. And so 3D Muscle Journey is literally like tied to our names. Alberto Nunez, Eric Helms, Jeff Alberts, and Brad Loomis are 3D Muscle Journey. So in order to have a fifth coach come on, basically we're trusting them with our name. And in today's day and age, so many people have so many different avenues on, ways to get themselves exposure. A person, we can't control what a person does on social media, etc. At least you can't, you can't be around a person 24 hours a day, 7 days a week saying, this is acceptable, that's not. So what they do and how they behave, that's a reflection of our name. And it was a few years ago where we thought about bringing on a fifth coach. And I think I'm thankful now that Alberto was really the most picky when it came to, kind of accepting somebody into our coaching group. And I'm thankful that he was, because back then, what I'm telling you, I didn't really realize, and especially now with all the different avenues of social media that are out there. Back then, I didn't even think about that. Didn't even enter into my mind. So, really thankful that that he was really kind of the picky one about that. So now that being said, we've kind of found that person. We have found that person that we entrust 100% with our name. And there's been quite a few folks that we've entrusted in the past, and those were interns, and they did coaching kind of under our name. But then, bigger, better things came along. They started their own coaching groups, and they're very, very successful now. But yeah, we found that person that, basically, when it comes to Alberto, Eric, Jeff, I would trust them with my child. I would trust them with Xander. If I died and my wife died and there was nobody around to take care of my son, I would want one of those three guys to do it. This fifth person, same thing. Same exact thing. I would trust my child, with this person. And that's really why we've been so picky, because our name is just as valuable, as my son. So, without further ado, you guys know her. She's been part of the 3D Muscle Journey team for years. And that person is Andrea Valdez. And just to give you an idea of how, easy a fit this was, or how we have meshed. It's kind of one of those things where you reflect back, a few years ago. And I remember the very first time I met Andrea face to face. I'll never forget it. We were basically going to go down there, and she was coming all the way out from Texas. And I was like, wow, this gal is coming all the way out from Texas just to be closer to her coach. I'm sure there was other reasons, but nonetheless, that was kind of the look to it. And so I watched Andrea on some of her videos on her YouTube channel as she was making her way out there. She stopped by a gym and met up with a guy there, and they did some training, and she had a couple photo shoots and whatnot, just to kind of get to know Andrea. And you know how that is, you see people on social media, especially younger folks, and I don't want this to sound derogatory, but at the same time, it's kind of the truth. Sometimes these younger folks that are well known on social media, they think they're movie stars, and they have this little air about them, you know what I mean? And I was kind of expecting that with Andrea, to be honest with you. And when we finally met face to face, it was at the gym in Sacramento, we clicked, just like that. I felt comfortable with Andrea in the first 5 minutes that I knew her. I literally meshed that well with her. And I think we all did, for the most part. The first time that Eric met Andrea, when he came over from Auckland, New Zealand, they meshed, just like that. And I have felt that very first day, we all basically broke bread. We shared a meal together. Alberto, myself, Andrea, and a few other well-knowns that, were there. And yeah, I felt comfortable with Andrea from the get-go. So obviously, since that time, it's been about 4 years, I want to say now. Andrea's been in my home. She's been in my hometown. I trust Andrea with my child. And that's the kind of person, that we've been looking for, outside of all of her qualifications as a coach, a trainer, and an athlete. So yeah, congratulations, Andrea, and welcome aboard the 3D Muscle Journey coaching team. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Hopefully this has kind of been beneficial to you, kind of an announcement and information at the same time. But coaching is an invaluable thing, and it's something that we at 3D Muscle Journey take very, very seriously. And now you know why.